All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final 30 minutes to 45 minutes or so of the first episode of the Lost Initiative. I almost said podcast. It's not a podcast. It's D&D.
Yeah.
And we just finished up combat. If you missed out, we ambushed a wagon for a job, and we killed everybody. And that combat just ended. So...
I think the most important thing is I just realized Grommen has long blonde hair.
He doesn't really in game. I think he's warm in this thing, and plus beards. The combination. I kind of look like Joker now or something. A weird thing, but I'm getting too warm. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Awesome. So,
how dare you dress up and then half dress up?
Unbelievable! I can't believe you can't even stay committed to this.
So
Yeah.
mad.
disappointed.
Incredible.
All right. So, at this point, obviously, we can go into what's around, so and so forth, the wagon. But if you guys want to take a moment to kind of react to each other, to prowess, what you saw, so on and so forth, please take it away. The scene literally just ended with Addo being creeped out by what he saw Thonk doing.
Thunk, what the hell is that?
I just kind of pull the dagger out of his throat. I stand up. I kind of shake the dagger, a little bit of blood, and I resheath it. And I look to you and I say, just doing what we were told. And the first thing I'm actually going to go do is walk over to the horses and unhinge them from the thing. And once they're unhinged, I'm going to smack them to get them to
I see
run.
you over by the wagon and you're unhinging the horse, and
Yep.
I'm like,
Do you see the note or the chest?
I haven't. I'll shake my head and say I haven't even looked inside the carriage yet.
I volunteer. I'll go hop up and see what's going on inside.
Right.
In the distance,
Alright.
you just hear Rye yell, "Gross!" as she's walking over to the body that's up here, referring to Thonk's previous act.
Absolutely.
Grommen's gonna kind of head down and help out with the wagon.
All right. I'll shout, Otto, check the well-dressed one for the note.
Oh, I'm gonna pick up the bodies and start kind of like putting them in the wagon too, because I'm assuming we're gonna like light the wagon on
Smart.
fire.
Yeah, that's a
or
good
something,
idea.
Right.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
I'm gonna once all the horses aren't hinged, I'm just gonna smack them really hard to get them to just run off.
Sure. It barely even takes a wheeling back before they just go
Running out.
fleeing. You smell.
Wait, are the horses like? Do they have any emblems on them or anything? Because we could use those horses.
I mean, they have their harnesses and whatnot that are attached to them right now for the purpose of. But even when you take it off, they do have some stuff on them. But it's up to you.
I mean, we can bareback.
Yeah.
Wait, Doc. Perhaps we can use those horses.
I'll take as I'm about to hit them. I stop for a moment and I nod. You're right, we can.
Unless you want to give Otto another piggyback ride or whatever he calls those things.
Yeah, no, I'll stop and I won't hit them. I'll unhinge them regardless because we're gonna need to unhinge them. But I'll try to gently lead them away. We still need to light this thing on fire, so I guess I'll try and lead them to a tree.
My apologies. As I had said before, when the first one gets unleashed, you just kind of like start reeling back. And even as he starts to speak to you, the horse is frightened by the smell of blood on you and whatnot and does run off a bit. Now, if you're not smacking the thing, it's not going to go miles and miles or anything like that, but
Okay.
it is going to run some distance away and you will have to collect it afterwards. Obviously, armed with that information, when you release the second one, you can kind of like hold it by its
Yep.
harness first, and you are going to kind of have to hold it steadily, and it's going to kind of kick a little bit. So at this point, you can either do a strength check or an animal handling if you have a check to kind of calm the horse down so it doesn't also break free and run from you to have to be collected.
I'll try animal handling. It's a better roll for me.
Certainly.
We'll give it a roll. I rolled a 10 flat.
Okay, the horse is a bit panicked. However, it is trained to handle all sorts of situations, so you are able to calm it back down, and it does not. While it's still acting up a bit as you hold on to it, it's not going to break free and run.
Okay.
Awesome. So after you do that, in the meanwhile, Grommen is going around and collecting the bodies, kind of coming out of her rage, his rage. My apologies. He's going around and collecting the bodies and throwing them into the wagon. Meanwhile, Addo, you said
Adam's in the wagon.
Well, I'd hopped in the wagon, but it was Thonk that actually recommended that I go inspect the well-dressed man for a note. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
That's exactly what I thought you were doing. So you are searching the man all over, and my apologies. 1 second. On him, you find, obviously he's wearing his breastplate. He has his rapier, a dagger at his side. He does have some jewels and a pouch with some coin inside of it that you can hear jingling, as well as a sealed envelope with a seal onto it. The seal matches the seal that is on the side of the wagon.
Almost instinctively, I take the jewels and any other valuables on his person and pocket them, and then announce to the group, "Hey, I found a letter."
Okay, awesome. It is pretty apparent to Grauman, who is standing right there, what it was that you had grabbed that stuff. But unless you're trying to do sleight of hand.
I don't think I'm hiding it.
Okay, so being pretty obvious with your with what you're doing. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Did
So
you find the chest?
Oh, sorry, I didn't make that up.
did you find
Said
the
did you
chest?
find the chest?
Yeah.
Oh, did I find the chest? Good question.
Not on his person, no.
Inside the wagon, probably.
Okay, so I'll hop back up into the wagon and keep looking around.
Sure. So you do exactly that. You hop back up into the wagon and over the dead bodies, I assume.
Oh yeah, just crawling
kinda
all around in
find
there.
the
Yeah.
How many
They're
of
just
the dead
obstacles.
bodies? Like this whole time, I'm like throwing the dead bodies back into the cart, I guess.
Okay. Yep. So you're gonna climb into the wagon and start looking around. However, what was Rye doing in the meanwhile? Since we haven't given her attention yet.
Rye is, she's over here. She's kind of like still cursing about the spectacle she witnessed live. And as she's doing so, she's got this dead corpse by the heels. And she's kind of like 45 degrees trying to drag it back to the cart with little success.
Awesome.
I guess
Kinda
once I take these two, I think this one and this one. I think by the time I take this one, maybe I see her dragging it, and I can go help her with that last one.
I do have to ask, which overlay are we using at the moment?
Non-combat overlay right now.
Okay, so
I can pop it over.
No, that's fine. So for people that are watching, we have Rye at the body of the person that was trying to run away and finally got taken down by the dissonant whispers, grabbing that body and trying to drag it back, and it's a good distance from the wagon off the left side of the road. And then Grauman is talking about grabbing the various bodies that were around the wagon, including the one that's just saturated in blood from Thunk's interesting way of handling situations. So they're doing those tasks as Ada was starting to investigate the wagon, which means Ada, roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
18, nice.
Perfect. So searching around the wagon for a long while. Obviously, there's the various things that are on the bodies of the corpses, which we can go over that shortly if you need to. But searching around the wagon for a while, you are able to find another pouch of jewels that was in there sitting on top of the seat. It's probably around where the person that was dressed well was sitting or the like. You do find another couple of quivers of arrows sitting inside there, backups, of course, for the archers overhead, various food supplies for the people there, and search around quite a bit. You do see that one of the seats is easy to lift up, and in doing so, hard for you because you're scrawny and small, but you eventually lift up the seat and you see inside a small chest with a lock on it.
I found the chest, but it's locked.
All right.
Yes, he said it would be locked. Take it.
I'd take the chest and along with any other valuables I found inside.
Awesome. So you grab up the other valuables, no problem, off of from around the wagon itself, including maybe even a little bit of food here and there if you found that to be important. When you're going to lift up the chest, it is, well, it's heavy. It's not that you can't lift it. It's that, you take a moment and plant your feet and how do you do that? That's right. Quick jerking motions, lower back, quick jerking motions. And you start like hoisting the thing as fast as you can to pull it out of the seat. And it falls to the ground with a thunk and then semi-lift, semi-dragging it out of the wagon. Now, mind you, this thing isn't very big I'm a human. It's about this big in size. But to you, it is much larger and it is very heavy.
So can I drag it all the way to the edge of the wagon and then just end up sort of shoving it off as it falls to the ground with a thunk?
Yeah, I doubt we'll make you carry it. the whole time. But maybe we'll get you swole.
It does fall with a loud thunk crash and very audible jingling of metal. I'm sorry. What did you say Thunk was doing this moment?
The whole time I was like tying horses to trees. Like that was the last thing I was doing.
Okay, so you hear this, and your character is far wiser than the rest. As soon as you hear that noise, and the words come to mind for you, unharmed.
Oh, yeah. All right. I will assume finish tying up the horses, hastily make my way over and be like, you must be gentle with the chest. We don't get paid if it is damaged.
Good thinking, Donk. Good thinking.
And I will, I mean, I'll try and hoist up the chest and carry it if I must. Is it like super heavy? I know it's heavy for Otto, but is it heavy for like a normal person?
It is heavy for you as well. You're not particularly strong. I believe what
12.
you have a 12 strength. Yeah, so again, it is heavy. This is one of those things where like, yeah, I could bring this up the stairs, but I'm gonna want to put it down for a second when I get to the top of them.
All right, we're gonna want to. Is it gonna be possible to strap it to a horse?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
And again, with even Grommen being as strong as he is,
Yeah.
Grommen will be able to carry this thing. It would be awkward, say, inside of a backpack, but Grommen is able to carry this thing. Yes.
All right, I'll look to Grommen and be like, we're going to strap it to a horse. Feel free to carry it there gently.
All right.
Grommen stops. I guess, what am I doing at the time of when he says this to me? Because I've been trying to grab all the bodies and put them in the cart. How many of the bodies have I gotten?
Okay, were you going to grab the kobold bodies as well, or are you leaving those there and just grabbing the human bodies?
If you make a gesture or if you seem to be grabbing the kobolds at all, I will stop you. And
I probably am kind of stupid, so I'm probably going to start grabbing the kobolds too.
Yep.
Thinking, get rid of all the evidence, so I'm going to take them too.
So he does gesture for you to stop.
Yeah, I kind of raise my hand and say, drop the kobold. It must look like there was a fight that we were not involved in. Burning all of the corpses implies third party.
Okay.
And so at this point in time, when he is saying that to you, what you're actually doing is making your way over to Rye and lending her some much needed assistance.
Okay.
I think Grom walks over and just grabs this body up off the ground.
I'm just bring it from my shoulder.
And Rye's like, she's like doubled over and she's like,
Aww.
When Rye does make her way back towards the wagon, she is relieved to see that body is already been removed. So, less gags.
she's over it now.
Yeah, it's good.
Got it out.
So all the bodies have been thrown into the wagon. I imagine you spent an additional moment collecting the various things on them. Just to go over that very, very briefly, is obviously the archers had their short bows and their arrows. Some of the short bows are left on the wagon, some off. Doesn't matter. Tons of arrows are left behind. The archers, so there are two of them, were wearing leather armor. The two spearmen had spears, had shields, and they were wearing chain shirts. That one gentleman was wearing breastplates. Everybody had a dagger. That one gentleman had a rapier. And there was some coin on everybody as well. But as for what that coin is, again, we can go over that. Some of the time.
Okay.
One of you guys should definitely take the breastplate, by the way.
I don't know. I don't think I can wear breastplate.
It's medium armor.
Can I put it on and
It does not fit.
dance around a little bit, entertaining the crew?
Well, first you would have to take it off the dead body.
Oh, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take what I deem valuable. I mean, I think the breastplate is probably, like Sam said, valuable. So unhinging that, taking that. These are made to fit humans as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So because your character is not too terribly much more massive than him, I would imagine if you brought that to a blacksmith, you could have it adjusted for your big size relatively quickly and cheap.
Okay.
It's just more a matter of the straps being lengthened and whatnot, because it's not like this thing is a perfect seal around you. You might even be able to fit it on now, though a bit uncomfortable and awkward.
Okay. So we'll take that. I want to make sure that the chest is safely latched onto a horse. Much else, I don't particularly like. Personally, my character wouldn't really rifle through the dead bodies all that much, and I would probably just quietly wait for everybody else to be done looting. I don't stop. I don't care if anybody else is looting. It's just not my particular thing.
Searching through the rest of the wagon, you are able to find underneath the seat of where the rider was sitting, there are two, what are they called? Saddles there. So you are able to saddle up the horses if you like. However, there are not saddlebags. So as for the chest itself, it was most likely have to sit on someone's lap or in their hands as they sat upon a horse, as opposed to just strapping it to the side.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll have to go on like Grauman's lap then.
Sure. Okay, so it sounds like we're pretty much done with this area right here. You are going to set a blaze to this thing. How do you intend to do so?
All right. So Grauman's definitely gonna ride. Well, we're gonna have to figure out 2 by 2 here. I figure Grauman and Otto can ride the same horse because first Grauman's gonna have the chest, so having someone smaller than either me or Rye on it will be smart.
With equipment and everything included, Grauman easily weighs over 300 pounds.
Yeah. All right. Jesus Christ.
That's a lot on a horse.
Yeah. Well,
You don't see many football players riding horses.
Ramen big.
Yes, Grauman, you're big. We get it. Rye gets excited.
How fast do the horses go? What's their speed?
Much faster than you guys. I believe it's 40 or 50. I'm going to say 40 now. But the cool thing is that they can actually do bursts of even quicker, and they do not wear fatigue on you. So as you didn't get much sleep last night, riding a horse on the way back would allow you to be more well rested, or at least less worn than anybody who had to walk the way back. And obviously, they'd have to also, the horses would be moving slower anyways, because otherwise everybody else is jogging to keep up with it.
What if we were to put Grauman on one and the 3 of us on the other?
Oh, jeez.
I think a medium load for a horse is like up to 400 pounds. I think.
So you're talking like Huey, Dewey, and Louie sort of situation?
Why not?
Oh,
So Grauman and the treasure chest, and then all of you guys.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Adorable. I'm imagining us moving along together. That's cute.
that will not
Yeah,
work
and
out.
behind us, instead of like like a giant explosion, it's just like a wagon on fire.
Yeah, it's great.
That will not work out very
Oh,
well.
all right.
So it's gonna have to be like the horse is just gonna have to the horse that Grauman is riding is just gonna have to deal with extra weight of Otto. It's just gonna have to be Grauman and Otto. I mean, I can take the chest on my horse to help lessen the weight if Grauman's already like massively heavy.
Why don't we just have like Otto holding the chest on a horse and then just walk? And then
I mean, we can
have
walk too.
all
That's fine.
Carrying all the loot we just picked up.
Absolutely. So Otto could easily be sitting on a horse holding the chest balanced as the horse takes the weight of the chest in himself. That's not an issue. And then somebody else takes the other horse, the other 2 walk, and everybody's good to go.
Put Otto on the other horse because he's probably the slowest.
Yep.
Well, no, I'm holding the chest, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But either way,
Yeah,
you
but you're
guys
still
figure out your situation and you start traveling. The exact details aren't an issue right now.
Okay.
Because it is a relatively safe road traveling from here to there, unless some horrible people just randomly just decide to attack this poor innocent wagon as it's traveling. It's actually a pretty safe road, and as you get closer and closer to the city, the likelihood of bumping into random riders or guards of the city increase greatly. Speaking of being only like say 4 hours outside of the city, the longer you spend here, the likelihood of bumping into them also increases greatly. So
Burn that shit and let's get out.
So how do you burn it? Just like, or does anybody have any spells or anything like that?
I don't have any spells that can start fire. Do you?
I
Ryan?
have like an adventure pack. I could start a fire with that. I have some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have torches.
Yep, that'll
So a
have to do.
combination of torches, smashing it up a little bit, and just you're all survivalist or
Oh,
most.
you're letting me
survivalist.
smash it up? All right. He's just taking his axe and like smashing it up.
There you go, kindling, turning into kindling, and then you just burn the whole thing. Awesome, good to go. So eventually, get the horses together, get everything together. Whatever it is that you're taking, I imagine you're not taking all the equipment. You're just taking, I believe you said the breastplates and maybe a short bow or something. We can go over those details later, but you take all that stuff and you and you start heading out. We'll just do like an email or something to figure out what it is that it was. Anyways, you start traveling your way back to Facade. to be successful. Now the question is, do you intend to ride along the road on these horses and whatnot, or do you want to try to avoid the road and travel on the fields either to the left or right of the road, or?
Do the horses? I forget. Do the horses have anything that mark them as of the house that we just basically banded it up?
Well, they do have straps and whatnot on them. After, so I imagine what you're saying is you want to investigate those straps thoroughly.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to roll any checks or anything like that. You can easily tell by the fineness of the leather and the craftsmanship on it that these aren't just regular straps thrown on a regular horse. This is clearly something that somebody with money would have purchased for their horses.
Okay.
More than that, you're able to identify not just anybody, but Rye is able to identify the the markings on the straps as being the markings of the crafter who made them, the crafter being a crafter out of Teflon. So not that she has ever had any interactions with this person, but knows the sigil from the area very well. It's something that most of the nobles will use.
I've stolen some noble shit in my time.
That doesn't surprise me in the least. With this information, even without knowing the fact that they're marked in any way, and just knowing that they're worth money, Thonk will suggest about an hour walk out. Because we can't lead them without the straps, we just cut the horses loose and walk the rest of the way manually.
Oh, my feet hurt.
You'll be okay, Grommen. You will be allowed to sleep well when we get back to town.
Well, why don't we go double or nothing on that orc back ride, Grommen?
No.
Awesome. So following Thonk's suggestions, you guys make your way, you're riding, half walking your way back there until you get about an hour's walk outside of the city gates itself. And 2, obviously, again, Thonk's suggestion, he's a fairly wise orc, making sure that there's nobody around, at least that you notice in sight, to see what it is that you're doing. Everybody hops off of the horses and just kind of like either carrying the chest in their hands or the breastplate over shoulder or somewhat inside of the backpack, because it's too much to just shove in a backpack, right? Just parts of it inside of a backpack. You slap the horses and send them off, maybe same, different directions, doesn't matter. And you continue walking your way back to the gates itself. Now, when you get back to the gates, because it was only a couple hours after morning and combat happened relatively quickly, it is still light out when you get back to the actual city, though it is well past noon. It is still light out. Do you just come strolling straight back into the gates that you had walked out of prior, or how is it that you handle the situation?
Have we cleaned up Thonk at this point, or is he just covered in blood?
I thought he was kind of like...
all right. Listen, I don't do that.
No.
I would attempt to if possible, clean up a little bit.
Okay.
He's like a cat.
Yeah, just if we have water, doing the best of our capability. I don't mind walking in with a little blood. I mean, adventurers are going to be adventurers. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. But as long as it's not like ridiculous, then I'm all right with it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the only way into the city?
Absolutely not. There are several other entrances as well. I know what you're thinking there, Sam. So what I can tell you is that your character actually does know the approximate, though it's not exactly the same every day, it's pretty approximate to what time the city guards actually switch their guard. And you do know that it is definitely different guards that are on duty right now. So there's no question that it would be the same guards as before, barring some extreme scenario.
Different isn't really fixing stuff for me.
Hey, that's fine. I'm just making sure that you know that.
Yeah. But I
Grommen's
think Brian kind of stops the group.
He'd go through the door drenched in blood, so.
We know.
So some distance, maybe within eye where guards could see them off in the distance, but not like make out who they are, just kind of like flex off into the distance. This is where Rye will stop the group, kind of like gears turning in her mind.
Yeah. So Rye kind of like halts the group. She's like, tiny problem. and produces this parchment, and it rolls down out of her hand, and it's a wanted poster with her face on it and a reward. And she just gives the group a cheesy grin. And
Oh, I have one of those too.
she's like, yeah, I think we're getting in this way.
Do you have any other
This
options
is
then?
nicer though.
Then I'm all ears for other options, Rye.
Maybe I'll just catch up. Maybe just catch up to you later.
Okay. Well, Grommen is yours. Looking to Grommen is yours wanted poster for this city as well.
No,
Then you're fine.
no, far away.
Good. So the three of us can go. Rye, I'm sure you have other ways within this into the city then.
I'm not stupid. Yeah.
Of course not, Grommen. You are the smartest of the bunch.
Awesome. So, kind of like bowing out of the rest of the group, and I suppose trusting you with the chest, and to do the right thing. Rye will bid farewell and kind of head a slightly different direction to maybe find a different way into the city, or at least a different time into the city, where she knows that either the guards, either A, are dumber, B, are less perceptive, or C, easily bribed, and makes her own way into the city. The three of you will continue heading forward, head in there. The guards kind of just examine you as you're walking in, making notes of your faces and the like. Don't really ask any questions, and don't require any tolls or anything like that. No fees. And you go walking in. Now, at this point in time, you do not have Rye with you. Do you intend to head straight back to where it is you'd meet Forston, or do you want to meet somewhere else beforehand and wait for Rye?
The longer we...
Downstairs in the tavern.
I figure we go at least into the tavern. That would be my suggestion.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I would figure we'd meet at the tavern.
Yeah. Being out in the
Altogether.
open with a chest
But I mean,
is...
we wouldn't turn. I mean, personally, Grommen wouldn't return anything without Rye.
Okay. Well, then the three of you make your way over to the tavern. Find your
And I'm
way in
guessing
there.
I'm carrying the chest. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course. Find your way into the tavern. Go in there. Grab a table. Coincidentally, the table that you had prior is available. You sit down. I imagine this is when Addo does one of these, and ding strikes midnight, or at least on the East Coast, and Cinderella becomes a pumpkin. So
Beautiful.
we'll pick up next time with
Cinderella becomes a pumpkin. That's horrifying.
Yeah, that's the alternate ending to the story.
Yeah,
Then.
that's terrible.
Because of pumpkin. Happily ever after.
The pumpkin.
So yeah, I guess we'll stop here. We'll pick up next time with the amazing solo adventures of Rye trying to find her way into the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little bribery. Just a little bribery. Well, man, that was a good first session. That was fun. I had fun. Thank you guys for joining us, all you guys who watched and hung out. We had quite a few people hanging out the whole time. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. We'll go around, kind of do final, like, who are you, where can we find you bits. And we'll say goodbye until next Wednesday. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you?
Hi, guys. Great first session. Bear, you killed it.
You did.
Thanks, man.
It was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So good, Bear.
Thank you,
Way
guys.
better than me when I was probably better than me now. My name's Strippin, guys. I'm a broadcaster. I stream daily over at twitch.tv/Strippin, and you can tweet me about the show and other things at Strippin on Twitter.
Awesome.
He doesn't strip, though. Well, that we know.
I mean, he might,
Anymore.
but
I've seen this. I've seen a few videos. I thought he sent that to all of us, though.
I mean,
I was just trying to get you to keep my character alive.
yeah, basically. Bribery, man. Bribery. Mr. Bear, who are you? Where can we find you?
Hey, I'm Bear, aka Bear Taffy. YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. It's the same BAER Taffy. I do videos, I do streams, I do a podcast with this guy, wherever the hell he is on
Right here.
your
Hey,
overlay.
what's
It's
up?
Mathis. Every Friday over on twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast as well, so you can come check that out too.
Yeah. Maggie.
Hi, I'm Margaret Crone on all the things. Pretty easy to find me on all the places. I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Margaret Crone, and then I work for NCSoft, so I run all of their video production for their live production and all their YouTube content as well. So you can check out all that stuff over there.
Good shit. Mr. Scott. I know you don't have much to pimp, but who are you?
I'm Scott.
He's got an awesome DM.
You have a Twitter?
You did great, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
No. It's fine. So on Twitter, it's at Dale Rick, which is I'm sure it's somewhere on right here, maybe on the overlay. So at Dale Rick on Twitter. So feel free to follow me, ask me any questions, whatever it is you like. But for the most part, I'm a ghost.
That works for me as well. And I'm Mike or Mathis. You can find me at youtube.com/MathisGames or youtube.com/JudgeMathisGames. I'm also on the podcast with Bear. And that's it. First session over. Good first session, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next Wednesday at... Oops, that's wrong. There we go. Next Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST to 9 p.m. PST, or you East Coasters is 9 p.m. to midnight, and just figure it out. There's a bunch of websites that'll do time zones for you nice and easily. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Goodbye, Grom. Goodbye.
What beer?